Shill Gates, in my opinion, is the next 100x entrepreneur that's going to come out of crypto. Today in this video, I'm going to be talking about why I feel that way, and we're going to be talking also about Windows 98, his project, Clown, and DKP, what is going on with Dragginz in the NFT marketplace. We're going to be covering a lot of stuff today in the video. So let's get straight into it. So I put out a tweet yesterday saying that I believe Shill Gates is the next 100x entrepreneur in crypto, that's going to come out of crypto. Not just the ICP ecosystem in general, but I believe he is, in my opinion, I've worked with a lot of people. I've worked with a lot of people in Solana, in every, multiple ecosystems, etc. And no glaze, I think Shill Gates is probably one of the best entrepreneurs I've ever met in my life. And I think he has tremendous potential. And I can talk about why I feel this way and why a lot of other people feel this way too. And it mainly comes down to the fact that he has the programming abilities to, create amazing applications. And he's an amazing front-end dev. He's the front-end dev for KongSwap, and he also has his own project, Windows 98. But he's also a marketing genius, and he understands the user, which is a key thing that some developers seriously miss. There's people who are very talented, developers, but they don't understand the user, and therefore their application kind of goes to dust because at the end of the day, you're building for users. You're here to get adoption. It's not just like, oh, we're going to do some cool computer science. Like, no, you're here to build for adoption and make money off the application, which is something that Shill Gates very much understands. He understands the users. He has that marketing brain. He's a marketing genius. He's done the whole Windows 98 meme coin, and he's also an amazing developer. I mean, this guy is constantly working. And I can even tell you myself, a funny story. I'm not sure if I've ever said this before on camera, but when a group of a bunch of people in ICP, we were in Nashville for the Bitcoin conference, and that all stuff. We all were like, going out and stuff. And when we were going out, Shill did not go out. I mean, he was there like most of the time, but I remember one night he just stayed there on his laptop coding the entire time. I think I will say there is nobody who makes me believe in the ecosystem more than Shill Gates. That is the truth. And his project, so he is the founder of Windows 98. Let's talk about that now. So this is his project, Windows 98. It's a meme coin, but also has a really cool thing. It's like this old school, because it's called Windows 98. It's a spinoff of Windows 98. So it has this really cool, retro, application here that you can see right here. But obviously, this is, really the success of this, if we're just being completely transparent, is the fact that the marketing that was done for Windows was super, super strong. They had a really, they still have a really cult-like community. Take a look at their website here, the Futures 9898. And if you want to buy the token, EXE, it's on KongSwap. So you can go to KongSwap, kongswap.io. As you can see, trading here, EXE. And it's a very, very cool project. And of course, the application itself is very, very cool. But really, this project, in my opinion, when I look at the Shill Gates ecosystem, I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen KongSwap and how much it's gotten better. And the reason why it looks so good is because Shill and his Shill and Gladiator. Okay, Gladiator also is a dev for Windows 98. They were a package. So I'll tell you guys a little story. Basically, shortly after the Kong launch, we had to bring on a new front end developer. And I Shill, so I was like, hey, I talked to Goros and John. I was like, yo, we should bring on Shill and his boy Gladiator. Because they're super strong and they're dedicated, and we brought them on. And if you've seen how good the platform looks, in the front end, that is because Shill and Gladiator, okay? And obviously Shill is kind of leading that front end development right there with Gladiator. But that's, the pretty front end for Kong and how good it looks and all the cool things is Shill. So for KongSwap, I look at Shill's, how much his programming abilities have come into play for Kong and made it such a great platform, and how it's going to continue to get even better because of Shill and the other devs as well, of course. Shill's not deving the whole project, but the reason why it looks so pretty is because of Shill. But for Windows, I think this really shows off his marketing ability, etc. And this is a super, super, I think strong project. This guy is not going anywhere. He is a guy he's going to keep building. He's one of the few people, devs in IC, who I really think cares a lot about the success of the ecosystem and everything like that. So I'm bullish on Windows 98. Obviously, I'm bullish for KongSwap. I run the marketing for KongSwap. That's not a secret. So yeah, I like the Gates ecosystem. I think he's done a spectacular job through his dedication and more, and his skills and all that other stuff. And I know I've been on a Shill Gates-a-thon lately, but I really feel like he is the truth of the ecosystem. And I think, for calling, we have plans to use ICP chain fusion technology to tap in Bitcoin and Solana. Bro, I think, I honestly, I'm going to say this, take it to the fucking bank. It's like, I think our Kong team is going to, I think we're one of the best small teams in crypto overall. I don't think we're just one of the best small teams in ICP or whatever. I think we're one of the best small teams in crypto overall, like 100%. I full-heartedly believe that. We have developers that are constantly shipping. We know what we're doing on the marketing end and the user end. So, yeah. But I guess we'll talk about our next thing now, which is the Clown DApp. Let's take a look at Clown. So Clown has picked up a lot. I made a video on this a couple weeks ago before it kind of really took off. Sergi, the developer, made a application, a SocialFi mining DApp, the first of its kind ever, and it can't be done on any other blockchain. It's a very, very cool DApp. But as you can see, for CoinSwap, we've been running spaces with them, which is super cool. Obviously, if you've been watching this channel for a while, I'm in the fucking Clown community. And the Clown community is like a huge cult. Not a huge cult, it's a small cult, but it's got its place. And I'm super, super excited for what this thing's got coming. I think this is a really cool banner. I kind of just want to show off their new banner. I mean, this is a sick banner. I don't know who made this, but it's very, very cool looking. And the team is continuing to put in more work, and they're kind of starting to get kind of a core team around it. So right now it's like Joey, Sergi's the lead dev. Sergi's basically the project lead, and then Joey, and then my friend Christian, aka Snoj, is basically coming on for the marketing end as well now. So there's kind of like a real core team that's forming around this project now, because honestly, I don't think Sergi, and I had no clue how good the DApp was doing, but the DApp has served a real use case. Dragginz, the next project we're going to talk about, has given them a ton of tokens for CoinSwap. You can start mining CoinSwap on Clown DApp right here, and yeah. Good progression here, so I kind of just want to shout that out. But now let's talk about Dragginz. So Dragginz, something very, very excited has come out. Jordan, who is the community manager for Dragginz, tweeted this out. Well, you asked for it, and now you're going to get it. Adam and team are making an NFT marketplace for ICP. So I'm not really, I honestly, I'm not even going to sit here and lie. I don't know really shit about the ICP NFT scene. I know a bit about it. I kind of see some of the drama that happens, but I'm just not really too into NFTs in general. But anyways, I know one thing though. Basically, there's been a problem with NFTs on ICP. Essentially, no disrespect to everyone. I think DG has the best marketplace right now, but they're really, at least Entrepot, I think, was the main one. But I think Entrepot was like the more popular, marketplace. And then, obviously it's Bob Bobley saying, and he's moved on to Odin.fun. So it makes sense, why he's kind of stopped doing that or whatever. But I think we've needed this. It sounds like, from what I've heard and what I've seen on X, it sounds like we've needed something like a great NFT marketplace for ICP. So this is really, really cool to see. And I'm super excited for it. I think, this is another thing. NFTs are kind of an interesting thing. I think they have their place in crypto. I don't think, the NFT bull run we saw back in 2021 or 2022. I don't think we're going to see that ever play out again, but I think NFTs will always have a place in crypto. So I think it's very important that we do have a good NFT marketplace. So it's really cool to see Dragginz step up. They also tweeted, oh, and just to confirm, the Dragginz team is not working alone on the NFT marketplace. We have some of the IC goats pitching in too. Together we will Minga. I think that means make ICP NFTs great again. And then they posted their weekly update for the game. And I actually knew about this. If you're in my Telegram pumpers, now of course, if you know about my Telegram pumpers, it's not for everybody. It's super, super degenerate. I'm not even going to sit here and, pretend it's not. But it's a place for free speech. I basically let almost everything fly in it because I believe in free speech. But it is very degenerate. But Jordan actually told us about this in pumpers before she tweeted this. I don't know how much, I don't remember, but she was talking about it and she said, hey guys, I have some alpha for you guys. Exclusive alpha, but pretty cool. So you should be in my Telegram if you really want to be in the conversation where people are making moves and developing stuff. Although there is a lot of degen bullshit, if you take that aside and filter out the noise and we have a fun time, blah blah blah, and we make jokes in there. But if you filter that out, there's some real sometimes good alpha in the pumpers Telegram. All right. So I'm excited to see this. Dragginz making some moves with the NFT marketplace. Going to be very interesting to see. Something we definitely need. And yeah, also if you want to, DKP, they have their pool on KongSwap. So if you want to buy the Dragginz token DKP, they have their main pool on KongSwap, just like EXE. And Clown should be moving over the Kong in hopefully the near future too. So yeah, super awesome, guys. I'm glad to see more activity in the ecosystem. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to go subscribe. Go follow me on X at @AaronBremser_. Also, I have a trading Telegram. Join it. Link in the description. All that shit. And yeah, go to kongswap.io, start trading. And yeah, thank you for watching.